Hello Kita Queens and Kita Beauty Tees. I'm back again with another client tutorial. I'm here with my model Maya. Y'all probably seen her in another client tutorial. And I'm just going to start this one off by cleaning off her face. Then I'm going to just go ahead and moisturize her skin using my Pond's moisturizer. I decided to bring her back on my channel just because in the last tutorial that we filmed, a lot of y'all were asking the foundation shade and I forgot to include it in the video. So luckily it will be included in this one. I made sure I added it in. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and fill in her eyebrows, and I decided to do so using a dark brown eyeshadow, more than likely from my Jaclyn Hill palette. If you use eyeshadow to fill in a client's brows, you want to make sure they have a little bit of moisture in them just so the eyeshadow can have something to stick to. So I made sure I rubbed a little bit of that Pond's moisturizer through her brows, and I'm only going to be filling them in about 3/4 of the way. And as you can see, I'm just going to brush up the front. Maya naturally has thick brows, so it's not really much that I have to do to them, especially not the front, and I don't want to do them too thick. So yeah, I'm going to only be filling them in 3/4 of the way. To clean up her brows, I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro Concealer and my RK by Kiss Concealer. Shade names will be in the description box down below. But first I'm starting off with the lighter concealer, which was the LA Girl. And I'm just going to use it to clean up under her arch. So I'm only taking it halfway. Now as you can see, for the remainder of the way, I'm going to be using that RK by Kiss Concealer. And I'm also going to use it to clean up the top of her brows. Once I have the bottom of the brows to my liking, I'm going to take my buffing brush and just buff out that product as best as possible. Then I'm just going to move on to the top. So after I have the brows filled in, this is what they're looking like. Some of y'all may think they look a little dark. So I'm taking this translucent powder from Dermablend, and I'm just using it to set the brows and also lighten them up. I'm using it to set them because, as I told y'all before, I use a little moisturizer in her brows, and I do not like shiny brows whatsoever. So yeah, I'm just mattifying it and lightening it up like one shade. But as you can see, it matches her hair pretty well, and that's the goal. So now I'm taking my P.Louise Base, and this is rumor number 1, and I'm going to use this as my eyeshadow base today. So I'm just applying it all over her lids. Now I'm going to buff it out using that same buffing brush that I used to buff out her eyebrows. The palette I'm going to be using in today's tutorial is my Bperfect Carnival palette, and I'm taking that shade right there and I'm just going to pack it on the outer edge of her eye. In the palette, that shade showed up a little bit more brown, but when I put it on her eyes, it was more red. Like, I didn't see any brown tones whatsoever in my opinion, but I decided to go with it anyway just because her outfit was red, so it didn't mess anything up. As you can see, I'm just packing it on using this fluffy blending brush. Now I'm going to dip into that vibrant yellow shade and just apply it right above the first color that we use. So as you can see, I'm tapping it on to build up the color, then I'm just going to lightly swirl around the edges. Forgot to show this on camera, but the next shade that I will be taking was actually from my Juvia's Place Sahara Blush palette, and I took that dark burgundy blush out of the palette and just packed it into her crease. I wanted something to deepen this look up, and unfortunately I didn't see a maroon in my Carnival palette, so I decided to just use some blush, and as you can see, it did blend well into the other two colors. I wanted this color to be very pigmented, so as you can see, I'm packing it on to build the intensity and then making sure I blend out the edges so that it does not look too harsh. So I have that burgundy shade built up. I'm going to go back in with my yellow towards the front of her brows just to make sure you can see it, because I felt like it was a little bit lost as I kept blending. So yeah, I'm just building the color back up. Now I'm going to be taking some of my P.Louise Base and using it to clean off her lids. This is a no-cut crease, so I'm just dabbing this product in. It does not have to be neat, but it does have to be blended, so make sure as you're patting in that you're also blending the other colors with it. Now I'm going to take a matte white eyeshadow and just pack it on top of everywhere that we use the base. So it's basically like I'm setting her lids with a matte eyeshadow. I'm going to go back in with that yellow and use it to blend out the edge of my eyeshadow. Now I'm going to take whatever excess of that burgundy is left on my brush and use it to blend out the edge of the yellow. So like I said, y'all, this eyeshadow is focused on blend. If you are not cutting a crease, make sure it is blended. Well, even if you do cut a crease, just make sure that everything is blended like a smoothie. We trying to give off smoothie vibes, girl. So after it's all blended together, I'm gonna take my dark brown eyebrow pomade and I used it to line her eyes. I'm just gonna do a regular angled line, so it's gonna start thin in the inner corners of her eye. Then as we get towards the end, it's gonna be thicker. So as y'all can see, this look is coming together. I'm going to take a dark brown shade from my Jaclyn Hill palette and use it to blend out the edge of my liner just so you don't see where it ends. Now I'm going to take some makeup remover on a cotton pad and wipe away any fallen eyeshadow. And I took my time on this step just because Maya has light skin, she's fair skin, and I use red eyeshadow. So if you leave any eyeshadow on her face, it is going to bleed through her foundation and make her pink. You may get away with it with dark skins. I don't know about brown skins, but light skins and people with fair skin, please make sure you wipe away any fallen eyeshadow before you start the makeup. And she brought her own lashes. I forgot to ask her where she got them from, but I'm gonna ask her before this video is up, and y'all can check the description box, and wherever she got it from, I'll put the name or the seller in the description box. So I cut them off camera. Now I'm just applying them to her eye. They are 25mm lashes. My girl like big blinks, y'all. She love her some big blinks. Lashes are in place. Now I'm going to go ahead and prime her skin using that Arcade by Kids Pore Minimizing Primer. And I'm just going to rub this all over her face using this flat synthetic brush. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my calamine lotion and just work it into her skin. I'm basically going to be working this into the inner portions of her face. So chin, nose, forehead, under eyes, y'all know, the regular schmegula. For foundation, I'm just going to be using my Fit Me foundations, and these are the shades. Pay attention because it probably will not be in the description box, but I'm going to take the darkest one and just start applying it to the perimeter of her face. And I'm applying it with this flat brush, and then I'm going to blend it out using my Real Technique sponge. Now I'm going in with that lighter foundation and basically applying it everywhere that we left blank. And I'm going to be using the same brush to apply it and the same sponge to blend it out. Now it's time to contour, darling. So to contour, I'm using my Black Opal foundation stick, and it's in the shade Beautiful Bronze. As you can see, I'm just dotting it along her cheekbones and her forehead. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend it out using my sponge. I didn't let it sit at all just because, like I said in the last client tutorial, when I use the calamine lotion on some clients, it makes their skin really matte. So if I let the product sit and dry, it'll just stay there and it won't blend out. So I just went ahead and blended it out as I placed it. To highlight, I'm going to be using these two concealers. One is from LA Girl, one is from RK by Kiss. First, I'm going in with the LA Girl one because it's lighter. And I'm just going to be applying it to all of the areas where the light naturally hits. So, under eye, chin, forehead, bridge of the nose, all that, girl, all that. Now I'm going to go in with that RK by Kiss concealer and I'm going to put it on the perimeter of the LA Girl one. But I'm only doing that for the concealer that's under her eye, just so it can make it easier to blend into the contour. To blend everything out, I'm just going to be using my sponge like I always do. But when you blend out the highlight, you want to make sure you flip your sponge to a clean side so that you do not track any of that contour color on your highlight, because that's just not cute. So don't do that. To set the highlight and the contour, I'm going to be using these two powders from Fit Me. To set the highlight, I'm using the Fit Me powder in the shade Coconut, and I'm just going to rub my sponge into the powder and just press it into her skin. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the contour, and to set it in place, I'm using my Fit Me pressed powder in the shade Mocha, and I'm just taking this on an angled brush and lightly tapping it into her skin. I don't know why she keep looking at me like that, y'all. Now I'm kind of wondering what we was talking about, but ain't no telling, ain't no telling. I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush and go in and sculpt out her nose, and I'm using the same shade of that Fit Me pressed powder, which was Mocha. I'm going to take my Dermablend Translucent setting powder and just use it to clean up her nose contour. And then I'm going to just take the excess powder that's left on the sponge and just apply it to her T-zone. Now I'm just going in and blushing up her cheeks, and I'm just using this random blush, y'all. Y'all know I buy makeup from just about anywhere, so use whatever blush that you would like. Right here, I'm just blending it out using whatever powder is left on my sponge, just so it can appear as natural as possible. I went off camera and lined her waterline. She's so crazy. And now I'm just taking my Juvia's Place to Hair and Blush palette, and I'm taking that burgundy shade, and just putting it on her lower lash line. I'm only going to be taking it halfway though. Now I'm going to take that yellow shade that we used earlier, and I'm just going to blend it right underneath that burgundy, and I took this all the way out. I'm going to go ahead and dust away this powder that is resting on her face. Now I'm spraying her face with setting spray, and she wanted a bottom lash, so I'm just going in with an individual eyelash and applying one right in the center of her under eye. Once we got this lash on, y'all, she had to hurry up and fan her eyes because she was about to cry. Trying to do this grown people stuff, now you finna cry. But she took it like a G though. So now I'm taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit, and this is the one in the color Sun Dipped, and I took the lightest shade out of the palette and just lightly dusted it to her cheeks. Now I'm just gonna go back in and blend out that highlight before we set it, and once again I'm spraying her face with this setting spray. Then we're gonna go ahead and do the lip. To line her lips, y'all should already know I'm using my LA Colors dark brown eyebrow pencil, and for the lip gloss I went in with my Absolute New York lip gloss, and I believe it's in the shade Natural or Nude, one of the two. And period. We could have finished right here. This could have been the finished look, but she came in with these Bantu knots, and I had these jewels, so we both had the bright idea to like fix her edges up and put the jewels on the end of them. I don't know if y'all have seen that before, but I wanted to do it and she knew I wanted to do it, so she said I could do it, so I'm doing it. Right here I'm just swooping her edges the best way possible, and I'm using some gel, some eco style gel. I think it's the olive oil one, and once I have them swooped in the position that I would like them to be, I'm just gonna go ahead and start gluing some red jewels to the end of her edges. So I bought those crystals off Amazon, and to glue them I'm using my clear brush on I Envy eyelash glue. I was so hyped, y'all, when I got the first one on because it was so cute. So I'm just gonna keep applying them, and I'm using the end of my lash glue brush to apply them. Now that I have them all glued on, this is the finished look, and we're getting into the grand reveal, so I'm just gonna let y'all watch. Oh my god. Oh, that is so cute. Girl, hold on. I gotta zoom out. Oh my god. So as y'all can see, this tutorial was a success. She ended up loving her look, and these are the videos that I captured on my phone. If you would like to see more, feel free to go to my Instagram. You can follow us both. Our links will be in the description box down below. She takes bomb pictures, y'all. Her style is so different. But this is the end of the tutorial. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next one. Bye bye.